Amendment number 37, offered by Senator Feeney.
Amendment number 37 by Mr. Feeney, information for parents of newborns regarding license, care, and financial resources.
The senator from Essex has filed a further amendment, which the clerk will read.
Amendment number 37.1 by Mr. Tarr, comprehensive guide.
Question comes on adoption of the further amendment. Senator Feeney.
President, I rise to speak not only on the further amendment, but the underlying amendment as well. This friendly further amendment, which I think helps us strengthen the language, is important to adopt. But I just wanted, Mr. President, first of all, this is the first time that I'm rising on this bill today to thank all of those that have been mentioned numerous times that have been involved in crafting this particular piece of legislation. And not only them, Mr. President, our colleagues, but to the people that empower us to be able to do this work, the folks that have been active stakeholders in making sure that we are doing everything we can in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to support this sector and to make sure that families have safe places for their little ones that are affordable, and to make sure that we're supporting those providers that do incredible work on a daily basis. Mr. President, these past few years, as everybody here knows, have been some of the most challenging and scary to begin a family, and parents certainly have more questions than ever. While we are discussing ways to support those families, one of the easiest and most common sense ways to do that is to provide them with information at the point in time in which they are thinking about going out and finding care. And as we focus on parents, Mr. President, I want to take this moment, and we do it in this bill, but I don't think it can be said enough. I want to take a moment to lift up the providers across Massachusetts that have had to live through extremely challenging circumstances over these last few years in a sector, by the way, which is not easy on its best day, but during the pandemic have risen to meet the moment. Those providers, I believe, Mr. President, are eligible for sainthood with what they have to deal with and how they perform their job. Whether it's in centers or in family child care facilities and settings across this Commonwealth, they are incredible human beings who deal with things that many of us could not imagine, and they do it with a smile on their face every day. It is difficult as a provider not only to deal with things that you have going in your own life, but then to see the little ones show up, and who knows how they show up at the door each and every day. Absolutely adorable, but some of them just may be in a mood because they didn't like that episode of Peppa Pig that they watched this morning. Or maybe, and providers that are out there listening will know, maybe their socks were just on too tight, or they didn't like the zipper that they had on. But our providers meet that moment by making sure that they're not only keeping them comfortable and safe and healthy, but that they're nurturing the whole child. We have been talking about how important early ed is for a reason. It doesn't just happen by accident. It happens because our providers meet the moment with empathy, with grace. They know what they're doing when it comes to curriculum and giving them a head start in life. It's incredible what our providers do across Massachusetts, and I just want to take another moment to lift them up again, as I know the senator who is the author of this bill believes, and everybody that's been a part of this. But it can't go unsaid how important that our licensed providers are here in Massachusetts and the work that they do. My amendment, and related to further amendment, Mr. President, information for parents and newborns regarding licensed care and financial resources, adds to the duties of the Department of Early Education and Care to develop, maintain, and disseminate a written early education and care informational pamphlet accessible through the department's website, containing resources for parents of newborns, including, but not limited to, information on the short and long-term developmental benefits of a quality early education and care curriculum, the department's role in licensing providers, conducting background record checks, and the difference between unlicensed and licensed providers. And I think this is key, Mr. President, and I hope we take cognizance of this, that as early education and care has become an affordability crisis across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, unfortunately, we have also seen where people have taken advantage of that and offer unlicensed care. And I get it. Any port in a storm when you're looking for care for your child. But it's important for us and the EEC through us to make sure that information is given to parents so they know the difference between licensed care and unlicensed care. And again, there's no blame here, but it's just important for parents to know, because oftentimes as you're trying to juggle so much, you say, you know what, this place is local to me, it's down the street and it's more affordable, I'm gonna take my child there. Only to find out that they don't go through the same stringent licensing process that many other providers do. EEC and the licensures across Massachusetts do an incredible job going out through licensing visits and random visits to go and check up on providers. And what do they look at? You look at the physical space. Are the latches on the cabinets? Are there any hazardous materials around? What is the playground space? Are they careful to make sure that they have safe sleep space? Are there any sort of hazards in the facility or in the family child care home? Are the providers and those that live in the home, have they gone through Corey and SORI background checks, fingerprints? Have they taken the training that so many of our licensed providers do on a regular basis throughout the year to make sure that the curriculum actually matches what they should be doing, so that they understand diversity in learning, so that they understand some of the issues that are facing early education today? And many unlicensed providers don't do that. So for our licensed providers that jump through hoops, not only for health and safety in their facilities, but to actually offer incredibly valuable quality care, it's important that parents know about that, especially new parents. So this would be a part of that. Also, child care financial assistance eligibility requirements. How important is it that we're doing this today to make sure that we are supporting families? We want to make sure that they know about it, that they don't simply make an uninformed decision that they can't afford care, but that they actually know that these programs exist. And a website for families to access an online directory, searchable by geographic location, of licensed child care programs across the Commonwealth. Mr. President, I think it's important that today, as we work to improve the child care system in the Commonwealth and take a data-driven approach to solving this very real-world problem affecting families and little ones across Massachusetts, that we ensure that the people of the Commonwealth can physically access and know about the services, programs, and benefits, which we are here in the Massachusetts State Senate, once again, leading the way, making sure that we are promoting that effort here in Massachusetts, and they need to know about that. I'd like to take the opportunity also, Mr. President, to support the further amendment before us right now, filed by the Minority Leader, by ensuring that the pamphlet be made available at accessible locations across the Commonwealth, including public libraries, family resource centers, hospitals with maternity services, and think about that. When a new family has a beautiful little newborn and they're heading out into the world and leaving the hospital room, what do? They check the car seats. They make sure that they have the information on Baby Safe Sleep. They make sure that they know exactly the care that their newborn needs. Imagine how valuable it would be if they say, hey, just if you have to go back and look for care in your community, here's some information. Here are some programs you may be eligible for, and here are the licensed providers, again, saints and angels in your community, where you can trust the care of your newborn. So I think it's important, Mr. President, to focus on those issues, to make sure that people know the difference between licensed and unlicensed care, to promote the programs that we have so that people can take full advantage of them. Again, we are blessed here in Massachusetts to have not only a forward-thinking Senate and Senate President and President Spilka. The fact that we actually have this debate and talk about these issues and understand the nuances says to me that we understand what it takes to have a robust early ed and care system, and the reason why we do it. We know the how, we know the what. It's in this bill, it's in our amendments. Let's think about the why. Let's think about the why. Let's think about who we are taking care of. Let's think about the families that need us. And let's think about the providers that step up each and every single day and provide care for the littlest ones in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I thank you, Mr. President. I hope this amendment is adopted.